Hey, ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got half the Koco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, the sexiest man on all of Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here's Sugar Room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Dave Koco under the weather this morning, so I'm just going to fill in, do a little bit of the wrestling news, take your questions, and we'll call it a day. So let's get started here. First thing I want to talk about here is I want to wish Lufisto, independent female wrestler, a speedy recovery. She has just announced she has been diagnosed with cervical cancer. It's definitely something not to play around with here, but she announced on her official website yesterday, or excuse me, Thursday. She just turned 38, and she'd been a little standoffish to maybe some close friends, but found out she had cervical cancer. Right now, she's trying to get some stuff cleared up about the surgery, and she's obviously got questions about that. It doesn't look like it's too far advanced. It looks like it's just like it's in the beginning stages, which is good because the earlier you can catch it, the better. But the cancer cells are close to her uterus. So right now, the question is, are they going to be able to get this in time? Or because if they spread over to her uterus, you're looking at a full hysterectomy. And, especially with somebody that young, you really don't want to do that if you don't have to. So definitely want to wish her cancer is no joke. So I want to wish Lufisto a very speedy recovery. I hope everything, goes out, goes her way. Cancer is just, it's not fun. So really hope she recovers quickly. The other big news coming out, it was kind of it's not really a surprise, but WWE and Rich Swann have parted ways. They did it the day after Valentine's Day on Thursday. Now, if you remember, Swann had some turmoil there. Now, he did make some appearances for NXT. He wrestled in the last year's Cruiserweight Classic. I think he had a pretty good showing. Moved him over 205 Live. But he got suspended back in December. There was a domestic issue with his wife back in December. It was his wife is also a professional wrestler, and those two had the story goes that these two had like a little bit of an argument, and grabbed her grabbed her to keep her from getting out of the car. An argument was taking place in the car, so she got it was like domestic abuse and like false imprisonment. But apparently the two reconciled. So prosecutors announced actually last month that they had dropped the evidence. They dropped the case due to lack of evidence. Let's pretend I can talk this morning. My God, I just woke up. Did I mention that? So not really, kind of not really shocking. I mean, it's not really all that surprising, but I do wish him the best of luck. I think maybe once the heat dies down, he can go back. He can go back on the independence and build his name back up. I don't think he's burned the bridge. At least that's not what it sounds like, and that's always good. Never burn your bridges, kids, because you never know when you're going to have to go back. Speaking in like sexual harassment or or battery against women, Michael Elgin has filed a lawsuit against the woman accusing him of covering up a sexual assault. Now, to be clear, Michael Elgin, according to these reports here, did not sexually assault a woman. Okay, I just want to make that clear. He had nothing to do with it. It goes with his promotion or former promotion, Glory Pro. This woman filed a lawsuit saying that a wrestler with that organization, Sean Orleans, had sexually assaulted her. Elgin knew about it, but did not fire Sean Orleans. Sean Orleans until she made those accusations public. So I guess she's saying that this guy sexually assaulted me. Michael Elgin knew about it, and he did nothing about it until I went public with it. And then when I went public with it, that's when he took action. So Elgin wound up selling Glory Pro, and I believe this takes place I think it's at least based out of Missouri, because at least that's where the this petition's been filed. But Elgin, through his lawyer, announced, that they redacted the sexual assault victim's name, which I think is a good thing, but saying that they're taking exception to words like that she used, calling Elgin abusive, a predator, engaged in a cover-up, and they're just saying that this is completely untrue. So we're taking legal action. So, and as far as, like some people may want to ask, boom, boom, what's your stance on this? What's your stance? I'm like, here's my stance. I don't have a stance. Why? Well, why do you not have a stance? Because you know what? This is a very hot topic. This is a very touchy subject. This is why we have a justice system. Let's let this play out. It's like I said with, with like Enzo Amore, that whole deal. Just, let the justice system do its thing. Let the cops do their investigation. Let them decide if there's enough, bring it to a prosecutor. Let the prosecutor see if there's enough to present, to bring charges. Take it to a grand jury, see if they'll indict, and then just let the justice system take its course. If it goes that far, let witnesses be called, let, court documents be shown, let people testify, bring it to a jury and let a jury make a decision, and then take it from there. So when it comes to Michael Elgin, same thing with Enzo Amore. When it comes to stuff like that, just let the justice system just do its thing and just sit back. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it anyway. So just sit back, let the justice system do its thing. All right, now, oh man, we got to get some more. We got to get some more positive news here. I don't know if this will be considered positive or not, but there's rumors that Jeff Jarrett could be going into the Hall of Fame. Which, if you've ever followed wrestling for about as long as any of us have, this is like a huge shock. Because, for those of you who may not know, Jeff Jarrett had a couple of runs with then it was the WWF. He went in, I think I want to say 1990. It was 92, I want to say. He went as like Jeff J-E-R-R-E-T-T, Jeff Jarrett. He did this thing. He had like these crazy outfits. He used to come in on a horse. He wrestled. I think he was an Intercontinental champion. He was a tag team champion. He was a European champion during his time. And he had a couple of runs. The first one was in 92, and it went till about 96, early 96. And then he had some kind of contract dispute, left the WWF and went to WCW. And you remember he did the whole cowboy gimmick, slap nuts, whatever. That thing, he actually became WCW heavyweight champion. This was no. This was before that. Oh, fuck. He had 2 runs in WCW and 2 runs. Yeah, because when he first came in, he was just the guy from Tennessee. Yeah, he was like a big wrestler in the Tennessee wrestling scene. Comes in the WWF. He becomes Intercontinental champion, has a dispute back in 96. Oh, this is all coming back to me now. Left, went to WCW there for about a year, came back. That's when he hit a strike, because this is back when he came back, it was the Attitude Era. Yeah, he'd come back. Yeah, he had a dispute. I think there was like some kind of rumor of an affair or something he had in WCW, and he came back and he said, they declared me everything but dead. And it was just a big fallout. So he goes into the WWF at the Attitude Era, starting in late 97, going into 98. And then he had some issues, because this is what's shocking me here, is because if you don't remember this, the story, he eventually had won the Intercontinental Championship, and his contract was expiring like the day before, like a major pay-per-view. This was against China. And, at this point, his contract was expired. This was going to screw the pay-per-view. And reportedly, and I don't know how true this is that Jeff Jarrett basically kind of used the Intercontinental Championship, kind of dangled that in front of Vince McMahon and held him up for about $250,000 for him to stay for an extra day, go to the pay-per-view, drop it to China, and then for him to go to WCW. And there were some stories that Vince McMahon was pissed about it, that he would never forgive him for it. In fact, when Vince McMahon, did the on TV, bought WCW. They did that final show. Jeff Jarrett was the first person he fired. I mean, that was real heat. So the fact that he could be going in with Ivory, the Dudleys, and Goldberg is just shocking. Now, I'm thinking maybe this is all blown out of proportion. Some things are taken out of context. But then again, a lot of people thought we would never see Bret Hart in the Hall of Fame. People thought we'd never see Bruno Sammartino in the Hall of Fame. So stranger things have happened, and I think if you look at Jeff Jarrett's overall body of work, I mean, from his days in the independents, in Tennessee, his runs with WWF as the Intercontinental IC and Tag Team Champions. His run with WCW as the heavyweight champion there. Of course, you can't forget he founded TNA, founded Global Force Wrestling, and he's wrestled all over the world. I mean, I think it's worthy. I think it's worthy of a Hall of Fame induction. And before the question comes up, people are gonna ask. I know people are gonna ask this. No, Owen Hart's not going to go in this year. He's not going to go in for a few more decades, in my opinion, because you have to have his estate, his Owen Hart's widow, agree to that. And she's still pissed at WWE. It's been more than 20. It's been 20 years, but she's still fucking pissed, rightfully so. So you just can't put Owen Hart in and have nobody show up to induct him and just have it be hollow. You got to have it mean something. So I'm thinking you may have to just wait till Owen Hart's kids or grandkids, maybe put him in. But as far as who I think should go in this year, I would personally like to see Vader, Big Van Vader, go in. New Orleans, it's still the South. He did a lot. I mean, he did a lot for WCW. He was the heavyweight champion there. Was just a big colossal monster. He was the first Gaijin to hold the IWGP Heavyweight Champion over New Japan. They had that match where he got his eyeball knocked out against Stan Hansen. Went to WWF. Didn't have as much success there, but I still think he had an okay WWF run. He's still wrestling to this day on Independence. Of course, you may remember a doctor diagnosed him, basically said his health was failing. He only had 2 years to live, and like somebody, either it's out or it's about to be out, supposed to make a documentary called 2 Years to Live, and he's still working out. He's still wrestling. He had a public Twitter feud with Will Ospreay that went to a match at, I believe, was it Progress or Rev Pro? I think it might have been Progress, but it was the one that Pete Dunne interrupted and cost Will Ospreay the match. So I wouldn't mind seeing that one. No, okay, Zach Rose coming in here. I thought Hulk Hogan was the first Gaijin to be IWGP Heavyweight Champion. No, he was never IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He was there, and if you had a subscription to New Japan World, or hell, just know how to use YouTube, you can look up Hulk Hogan's work in New Japan. It's actually surprisingly pretty good. This was at the same time. This was back when he was still in his prime. This was back, when he was doing the, say your prayers, take your vitamins, doing the leg drop here over in the United States. If you go over and look at his work in Japan, it's like you would swear it's a totally different guy. You would swear it's like, is that somebody wearing a Hulk Hogan mask? This guy doesn't, because Hogan was smart enough to realize that to impress the U.S. crowd, he had to be larger than life, but to be popular in Japan, he had to bust his ass, and he busted his ass in Japan. You don't believe me? Go look up his matches with the Great Muta. I think he had a great match with I think it was Tatsumi Fujinami there. And by the way, he did. And God, you'd have to be a complete total fucking nerd to know this, but in Japan, his finishing maneuver was not the leg drop. His finishing maneuver was a lariat over in New Japan. But anyway, speaking of Japan, I wouldn't mind seeing Giant Baba go in, because he founded All Japan. It's still running to this day. They had all kinds of works. That was the promotion that the Von Erichs worked for when they would go over to Japan. When they talk about the Von Erichs going over to Japan, it was talking about All Japan Pro Wrestling. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. And my other point, I want to see Vader go in. Here's another thing, since we're kind of on the subject here, is I don't know if you watched New Beginnings at Sapporo, and if you didn't, go back and watch it. Rey Mysterio made a challenge. He popped up in the video there and made a challenge. He's talking about Strong Style Evolved coming up next month. He said he's going to be there in California, and he challenged Liger to a match, to which Liger accepted. These two have not really tied it up since their WCW days, so this has been a long time coming. These two, I believe, have tied it up in Japan once before, but I think that was a war promotion, not New Japan. I'm actually interested in seeing that. Now, some people thought, well, why are you doing this? Why are you blowing this kind of blowing this big match? I mean, the Pyramid is already sold out. You know, why would you want to, waste this kind of match? I mean, why not save it like you would like Jericho Naito? You know that one's coming, but they're going to save that for the summer. So why not save this one? And I said it's kind of a smart move, because when you look at Strong Style Evolved, you have, yes, it's sold out, but AXS, wherever, however you want to call it, is going to televise the event. And, this is going to wind up all over the net. So I think the idea is this is going to be done to get more eyeballs on the product through the TV show, not sell more tickets to get in the building, because you've already got that handled. And I guess maybe the idea is kind of like, look at all the people who got subscriptions to New Japan World just to check out the Kenny Omega Chris Jericho match. Well, now that you've got the whole building sold out and you can only watch on TV, you can only watch on New Japan World, why not promise something like Mysterio versus Liger? And so people will hopefully, tune in or get subscriptions, watch this and go, I really like, Rey Mysterio, and I like this matchup against Liger, because Liger's still super over in the United States, as he should be. But maybe they'll go, maybe I like this, oh, is that Cody Rhodes? What the, oh shit. I haven't seen him outside the WWF. Oh, is this what he's doing now? Oh, here's the Young Bucks. Here's what I've heard so much about there. Oh, who's this guy Okada? I keep hearing his name pop out. Is this what this guy does? Oh, and Naito. Oh, well, okay. I kind of like this guy. Maybe I feel like that's what you're doing, and I think that's a smart move. And you can still pull the trigger on the Naito Jericho match later this year. Hopefully they'll do. Looks like New Japan is completely serious about making inroads into the United States. So I'm very happy to see that. And let's see here. WWE has signed another former Impact wrestler. The guy Malihabra Shira, the guy who liked to dance around, have a good time. Yeah, they've signed him. He was big in TNA. He's just the guy who liked to dance, have a good time. He also worked for the Ring King promotion that over in India. And actually, that was short-lived. That was way too short. That was back in 2011. If you don't know, remember what that was. Jeff Jarrett basically just took a bunch of TNA guys that weren't doing anything, and then signed a bunch of independent guys, some guys who were not under contract, to like a little short stint. They went over to India, shot a season of a TV show, and it actually turned out to be pretty good. But and here's another thing, and this is where I know probably like American Alucard's going to be jumping up for joy, but there's a lot of people who crap on TNA, they crap on Impact, whatever you want to call it, and say, oh, their guys aren't any good. There's guys, whatever, they're second rate. They're like the Kmart brand. They're very good. But when WWE signs them, oh, my God, that's a great signing. That's a great. So I'm not really too sold on his work right now. I'd have to see more, but I want to see what he does outside the Impact umbrella. I want to see what he can do on his own. I want to see what happens when NXT gets a hold of him and they run him through the developmental center. And see what he can do. All right, let's see what else. I'm thinking that might be. Oh, God, yeah. I've actually got to talk about this here. There talk about WWE is talking about expanding pay-per-views, because they're going to go dual brand, which means there's going to be no more SmackDown or Raw exclusive pay-per-views. You're going to start taking stuff like Backlash and Lockdown, or not Lockdown, just anyway, all these other Fastlane and other shit like that, and putting them together. And but you're looking at cranking out 5-hour pay-per-views, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was just to me, that's oversaturating the market. I like the idea of having separated pay-per-views because you can keep them shorter, keep them to about 3 hours. You can feature more undercard talent. I think when you start moving this to dual brands, I guess maybe it's to sell more subscriptions to the WWE network. Maybe it's to make every pay-per-view feel special. But my God, you're looking at you're looking at a 1 hour pre-show, a 4 hour pay-per-view, and you're going to do that every month. And then on top of that, look at how long Mania is. Mania, I think, was damn near 8 fucking hours last year, and it may be 8 hours again this year. I mean, come on, man. You've got to know your audience. I mean, like, I like good movies too, but I mean, I don't want to sit through an 8 hour movie. It's like, and there's another thing. I like to, watch TV shows. I like to, pop up some stuff on Netflix, but I'll watch like 2 and 3, maybe 4 episodes and stop, take a break, and maybe later in the day, go back, watch another couple episodes. I just can't sit there and just watch something for just hours on end. I think the only exception to that would be the time I binge watched The Defenders in one day. I started watching, I think, at 5 in the morning and didn't finish till like 1 o'clock that afternoon. Yeah, I'm a nerd. But that was the exception and not the rule. Okay, as far as the pros and cons, as far as cons go, like I said, cons go, you're going to oversaturate, you're going to exhaust your audience because they're going to go, God, I just can't sit through 5 hours. Okay, we're going to fast forward, or maybe they're not going to watch it live. They'll watch it on replay, fast forward, move around. I guess maybe as long as they've got the network subscription, they don't care. But look at your live audience. I mean, an audience can make or break, a match, make or break your pay-per-view. I mean, if you've got them completely burned out, if they're like, oh shit, it's like been 3.5 fucking hours I've been sitting here, come on. I don't think you're really going to kill. I don't think you're going to, I think you're going to kill the crowd. I guess maybe the pro of that would be every pay-per-view is going to feel special. Because it's going to be a big to-do, a big event. You're going to have superstars from both brands on there. A con would be you're not going to feature as much diverse talent because you want to build up new stars. You want to have more people you can slot in that main event slot. There's more. You want to reward people for doing cards program because if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn can't be in the main event, I mean it's still good to have them do something, and then you could have them have that handicap match against AJ Styles low down on the card. They're still making an appearance. They still advance a storyline. You're still getting them over. You're still promoting them. But if you move to just an exclusive to a dual brand pay-per-views, maybe that match doesn't make the card, or maybe people that they're trying to come up, they're trying to make a name for themselves. Maybe they don't make it on the card when they would have. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? I mean, do you think it's too much? All right, so let's go and take some questions here, some comments, and then I'm probably going to just go ahead and bounce. I told you I was going to keep this short. Let's see. Zach Rowe. Lufisto hasn't had the best of it. She had a stroke last year and now cancer. Oh, God bless that woman. I hope she gets better. Bill Hopsel says, good morning, Boobs. Well, good morning to you. Zach's saying, I highly doubt Jarrett's going into the Hall of Fame after what he did. I'm pretty sure he's the reason that the 90-day no complete clause in WWE contracts. Let's see. I wish I could watch this one, but I got to clock into work. Have fun, guys. Hey, thank you, Prodigy. Let's see. Zach Rowe. Rinka King was too bad. I wouldn't have minded seeing a second season. No, it wasn't too bad at all. It was actually pretty good. It kind of ended on a cliffhanger, but it was fun. Yeah, they hired. Trevor Murdoch, Nick Dinsmore, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Chavo Guerrero Jr. I'm trying to remember who all they had on there. They had Abyss. They had Scott Steiner. They had Matt Morgan, Magnus, Jeff Jarrett, of course. God, you had some Indian wrestlers on. You know them now as the Singh brothers, but back then they were called the Bollywood Boys. You had a little, a big. I think they had a couple of guys pass away on that because they had like a giant on there. I think he passed away because of giantism, and then they had a little person. I think he passed away. It was actually pretty good because the crowd was completely into it. They would like if any like Steiner or anybody of these guys jumped the rails, these guys would part like the fucking Red Seas. I mean, the crowd would just fucking scatter, and the wrestlers knew it, and they had fun with it. I think it made for a pretty good TV show. Let's see. If they do that, they might as well end the brand split. How long do they think before the Raw Super Show comes back? Honestly, I think they'd be stupid to end the brand split because when they ended it, I mean, the first time it was bad, and then it got to be pointless because you had all this crossover stuff. But now I think the roster's big enough to where you have to have that. Otherwise, well, you know what? I would probably trade it if they got rid of SmackDown and they had just a 3-hour Raw. I would probably make that trade. But if they're not going to do that, I like the idea of the brand split. 5 hours is overkill. LOL. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, let's see. Zach Rowe. Hogan wasn't technically the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, but he did win the IWGP tournament, and prize to that tournament was the IWGP Heavyweight title belt, but it's not considered an official reign. Yeah, because what is known now is the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Didn't come about to like the mid to late 80s, and the first person to hold that was, of course, Antonio Inoki. No, Lufisto. Okay, Ewok. He's saying no, Lufisto, rest in peace. No, Lufisto's not dead. She's not dead. Don't bury the woman yet. She had cervical cancer. Everything's fine. She's just getting, seeing what her options is as far as surgery goes. Going to get that taken care of. She's fine. She's fine. Let's see. Okay, good morning. And Ewok got here late. Okay. Yeah, all right. So let's take a look. Let me see if there's anything else left we need to talk about. I don't think so. I think we've got everything covered. Oh, just real quick, want to give a shout out to Neil Dashwood. You may know her better as Emma. She made her debut in Ring of Honor. She participated in a tag team match. She teamed up with the Exotic Goddess Mandy Leon to take on Kelly Klein and Stacey Shadows. It was okay. It was an okay match. She's going to be in the Women of Honor. I believe she's supposed to be in the Women of Honor tournament where they're going to crown their first ever women's champion. So good luck to her. I hope everything works out because I think she's a super good wrestler, and just I want to see her stay in the ring, especially here in the United States. So definitely wish her the best of luck. And you know what? Let's end this on a positive note here. Lucha Underground has announced a new location and dates for the season 4 taping. I think they're taking it out of the temple here. Let's see. Basically, if you're going to be in the Los Angeles area, you can try to reserve. They're giving away tickets for free. It's going to go. The tickets, I believe, you're going to have to go through. Let's see. It's February the 23rd. And February the 25th. That's if you're going to try to snag some tickets. That's a week from today. And let's take a look here. I'm trying to see what. Yeah, they're doing February 23rd is when they're doing their doing a tape. Yeah, they're doing that taping next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're doing that now. People are like, if you're going to participate in that though. Here's the problem. Well, not really a problem, but here's what's going to happen. You have to be. I think you have to be. Okay, you can be. I think 12, 13 to get in, but you have to have a parent or guardian. And other than that, you have to be like an adult. You have to sign like a non-disclosure agreement, so you can't go tweeting and talking about it. And it looks like they got a new place. It says like an old ice factory or something. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm going to see, did Dario Cueto die? I hope not, because I like Dario. He's like the best ever. And it's not the same without him. Did I see the Golden Lovers training video? I saw the one where they were both in front of the cameras, like kneeing like this dummy. So I saw that. I've been watching Being the Elite. I've seen the Young Bucks just kind of walk. The Young Bucks and Marty Scurll walk away from Cody. It's looking like they're going to have a match. Omega and Cody are going to have a match. Honor Rising next week, and they're going to have one at Supercard of Honor coming up Mania weekend. So I want to see how this goes. All right. So that's enough of me babbling. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to wish, tell Dave Koco get well. Keep your questions and comments coming. We'll try to answer it. I'm pretty sure Dave will. Just send Dave a message at Dave at Koco. I think he's at KocoSports. He's on Twitter. Just look that. He'll answer anything there. If you want to send anything to me, then just comment down here. I'll answer it. I don't care. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. So the boom just went bang, and I am out. Bang.